Hey everybody, welcome back to the homestead. Well, it is a gorgeous day out today, and so it's time to get back to work on the duck house. This is what we love about the Missouri Ozarks, is that even in the winter, you'll get a stretch of, bad, yucky, cold weather like we've had recently, but then you get days like today. It's supposed to be 65 degrees out today, and tomorrow they said we could actually hit 70. So an awesome, nice break. Gives you time to be out in the sun, get some work done, and just soak up some good, sunshine.
Since we've been working on this new duck house, our ducks are in a temporary location overnight in one of our poultry barn rooms. We have really missed seeing them jump out of their house and run to their food and water, and we know you guys have missed that too. So today's project, we're hoping, will allow us to start keeping them in their new duck house so we can start seeing them every morning and start sharing that with you guys again.
Yeah, it's always such a fun part of the day to watch them just take off and run down to the food. And if, like Sarah said, if things go well today, they'd be able to move in by the end of the day. Now, we're not going to be able to get it painted today. We might not even be able to get it painted before spring, but we'll be able to get it done enough that they can move in. So we need to get to work, because we still have quite a bit to do, and even though it's warm out, as soon as that sun starts to go down, it gets cold fast, so we need to get to work. So for those of you who are just starting to watch our channel, let me catch you up on what we've been doing to build this duck house. It's built out of pallets that we got from a local business. These pallets were free, so it is a great way to build this. So far, I think we've got probably $200 or less invested in this entire building, which is awesome. So the walls are built out of pallets. They're nice and strong. We did put plywood on the outside to help protect from the weather. And then we did put some pressure treated wood along the bottom at the ground to help protect the pallets over time. The roof I've actually built out of some old metal roofing that we had that we kept after we had our big barn re-roofed. So that was free, so that's awesome. And so far, the whole project is just coming together really well. Now, there are some challenges when you're building out of pallets, that not everything is going to turn out completely square, not everything is going to be, exactly perfect. So, like I've given the warning in the past, if you're the kind of person who that would drive crazy building something that way, building out of pallets may not be for you. But if you want to save some money, this is an awesome way to build things. So the first thing that we're gonna work on today is building a door for this. So the opening is a pretty, it actually turned out pretty good. It's about 44.5 inches wide and about 6 foot, 8 inches tall. So we're gonna leave it that size. It'll be a nice big door for us to get in and out of when we need to clean in here. And it'll be a nice big door for the ducks to get in and out of as well. So the first thing I'm gonna do is we're actually going to cover this side of this pallet with a piece of 2x6. These pallets just happen to be the same width as a 2x6, so that should work out perfectly. So we're just going to cut that and install that there. And then I'm going to also put a piece of 2x4 at the bottom so that the actual plywood door doesn't have to go all the way to the ground, which will make it a little easier to open. So those are the first two things we're going to do. We're going to cut this piece of 2x6 and piece of 2x4. Alright, now that we have those pieces installed, it's time to actually get started building the door. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to build a 2x4 frame for the door. This will be on the inside of the door, and then there'll be plywood over the front. This frame is going to actually go inside of this doorway. So when it closes, the frame will be kind of inside. That'll make sense when we get done, if I'm not explaining it well. But I have it all measured out. We just need to get busy cutting the pieces. And then we're going to hold it up here to make sure I figured everything right. And then if it's right, we'll start adding the plywood to the outside. And then after that, it's just a matter of hanging the door. So hopefully it all goes exactly that smoothly. Let's get busy cutting. Alright, now that I've got the pieces cut, I'm going to use my pocket hole jig to drill some pocket holes here around the sides. If you don't know what that is, a pocket hole is just so that you can actually put a screw from this piece of wood into this piece of wood, and you never have to screw into the end of a board. When you screw into the end of a board, it's not very tight. So when you do it this way, it makes a nice tight corner. So I'm just going to mark this off here. Alright, so I've got the frame built. It fits inside the opening of the doorway just the way that I thought it would, so that's perfect. So now we're going to measure how big we want the actual plywood piece to be, and then we'll attach this to the plywood and we'll be ready to start hanging the door. So we're getting there. It's getting close. Alright, I brought the door over. I've got the frame attached on the back side. I'm going to go ahead and put hinges on it now. I bought 3 of these heavy-duty hinges. I think this should be good. We're going to attach them to the door first, then we'll get it up in place and attach them to the barn itself. Alright, before we put all the screws in, let's open it up and see if it actually works. Hey, look at that, it's a door. I think that's going to be perfect. I'm not too worried about a little gap at the top. Again, because things aren't perfectly square, that little gap will just give things room to move a little bit, and it won't make everything so tight that over time it won't shut. So this is gonna be good. Go ahead and finish putting all the screws in, and then we'll get ready to put a latch on. All right, so I've got my latch here. For this, I bought a latch that just slides into place to open and close. Pretty simple, but I think it'll be effective. Even though we do have predators around, I don't think any of them will try too hard to get in. If they do, over time, I may end up putting 2 latches, one toward the top and one toward the bottom, just because this is such a big door. But I don't really think it's gonna be a problem. So we'll just keep an eye on it. All right, so now that the door is done, we're going to do one final thing on this project today, and then it'll at least be done enough for the ducks to be able to move in later tonight. So what we're going to do is we're going to build some real low nest boxes over here on this side. Ducks don't go in like a real tight enclosed nest box like chickens do, but they do like to have one area that they can lay in their house. So what we'll do is we'll just build something real low that we can put a bunch of straw in, and then hopefully they'll start using that to lay. Now, like we've talked about earlier, ducks, once they're out for the day running free, they're not going to come back usually to lay in one spot. So your options are either to kind of confine them to their house until after they lay. Luckily, they always lay in the morning. Or at least keep them close to their house so that there's at least a chance they'll come back, but if they don't, you can easily find their eggs. So for today, we're going to build this, and then for the next few days, instead of letting them out real early in the morning, we'll leave them locked in here until probably mid-morning, and then hopefully they'll learn that they need to start laying in here. All right, so I'm going to start by just attaching this 2x4 down here at the ground, and then we'll just put a couple dividers in here, and then we'll fill it in with straw, and that's all we're going to do. It's not going to be anything fancy or difficult at all.
Well, these are the nesting boxes that Kevin made for the ducks. I think they look fantastic. I'm going to fill them up with some straw, put a little bit of straw in each one. For today, we're just going to do the nesting boxes, but later on we'll actually put bedding all around in here. The truth of the matter is we just don't have much more straw to do the rest of the bedding. We got to get into town and get more bedding. But I want to put some in here so that the ducks can kind of see a difference between this area over here where hopefully they sleep and this area over here which hopefully is comfy and inviting, and they want to build a nest in here and lay their eggs. This spring we hope to collect some fertilized eggs and incubate them and have some ducklings hatch out. Our original ducks that we got when we first moved on here, they're a couple years old, so they might stop laying really nicely soon. So it's nice to start raising up some new ones so they can start laying also. Okay, well they look pretty inviting to me, nice and fluffy. I would like to lay eggs in there if I were a duck. So now Kevin and I are going to go in the house. We're going to start making supper. And then right before the sun goes down, we'll come out and we will herd the ducks in here for the very first time. We're hoping to bring you guys along so you can see how it goes. And we're excited for them to spend their very first night in their brand new house.
All right, well, it's just before dark, so we came out to put the ducks into their new house, and we can't find them. So the first thing we need to do is actually look for the ducks and see where they are. It might be actually funny if they went in the new house on their own. So
I doubt
let's
it.
start by looking there. I think that's a long shot.
I don't hear them. I think I'd hear them.
All right, well,
Here they come.
We found them. I think they were back near the cow. So they're coming now. They probably think that we're out here to put them in the barn that they've been living in. So we need to try to shoo them over to the new one and get them in there. Duck herding is something that you get pretty good at after a while. Luckily, they're pretty easy to you know, herd around where you want them to go.
Oh wait, I'm gonna go this way. There they go!
Yay! All right, they're in. Well, there you go, you guys. They got in. They're going to spend their first night in their new house.
That means that maybe the next video that you see from us will be us letting them out of here for the very first time tomorrow morning.
And once again, you can see them running to get to their food.
Yeah. You guys, thanks so much for stopping by today to watch us put some more of the final touches on the duck house. We're not quite done yet, but at least they can start living in here. I'm excited to see if they're going to start laying in here again rather than all over the place where we can't find them.
Right. So you guys, if you enjoy our videos and you're enjoying our lifestyle, don't forget to share our videos with all of your friends. And until next time, thank you so much for stopping by our homestead. Take care and God bless.
God bless.